In this video, we will discuss about 3 coins that I strongly feel are poised to give fantastic returns for the month of March. I've narrowed down to these 3 coins primarily for certain fundamental factors, a little bit of my own studies, and certain news that can probably impact the market. I personally think these 3 coins, and specifically one coin amongst these 3, are poised to give fantastic returns for the month of March. As usual, I do suggest that you do your own due diligence, but do go through my analysis and my studies that may help you to make your own decisions. I strongly believe that the knowledge is power. With correct information and accurate data analysis, you can come to conclusions that can help you create wealth in long terms. This is exactly what I was able to do with my investments in stocks. I have accumulated wealth and generated returns which is way ahead of the average returns in stock market. Hey guys, this is Puneet Rastogi, the founder of CryptoCrunch, your one-stop shop for everything crypto. So let's get on board and check out my pick for the month of March. Right guys, so let's check out the best cryptocurrencies to invest in the month of March for 2018. Before we start with the analysis, please do go through my disclaimer. This is not a speculative prediction or any attempt to spike the prices for any coin. I'm presenting the facts as I've come across. My analysis is purely my opinion. The facts and my opinions are subject to interpretation differently by different people. I'm an investor in crypto markets since 2016, so my opinions can be biased. This is not a financial advice, and kindly do your own due diligence before investing. So guys, let's try and understand the significance for the month of March. So I worked with Merrill Lynch, which was acquired by Bank of America after the crisis of 2008. Now Merrill Lynch is basically an investment bank. You need to understand how the asset allocations and how the actual investments of assets take place in any investment bank. So it's generally the first quarter and typically the month of January where different asset allocations take place, where assets or investments as per the geographies are decided. And it's usually the month of March and April where actual deployment starts to happen. So let's say an investment banking firm, something like a Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley, decides that they would give some kind of 4% or 3% of asset allocation to cryptocurrencies. It would be somewhere around March, April or May that they will actually start deploying that kind of money, right? So let's look at 2 snapshots. Now the first snapshot out here on the top basically signifies or basically indicates the top 5 coins of the market and the market picture for the end of February last year in 2017, right? And this snapshot is basically there which represents the top 5 coins for the end of March. Now before, if you go to your history of coin market cap, you'll see that any snapshots prior to February was very stagnant, and honestly there was no major movement in price or momentum in the market. But look at the month of March. Now Bitcoin, yes, you do see that Bitcoin has lost some value, but just look at the average volumes that the Bitcoin is showing per day at that point of time, right? It is basically tripled. Same way, look at Ethereum. The volume of Ethereum has gone almost 10 folds, right? It could be specific to that day also, but if you do check more snapshots for March, you'll see that these were the general daily volumes. Now Ethereum price has gone up almost 5 folds, right? Same way, Ripple was dethroned by Dash. Dash moved from $26 all the way till $93, right? Again, 5 times move. Same way, Monero came up. So there was a lot of momentum at that point of time. What I'm trying to indicate out here is not any predictive movement in coins, but the fact that the monetary deployment or the asset deployments from the banking firms for majority of the investment firms will start to take place in the month of March, April, May, right? So expect some kind of momentum building up in this month or some months to follow. So before I go to my number 1 coin, let's discuss 2 other coins that have a lot of news, a lot of hype, or a lot of momentum building in these projects. One of those coins is Neo. So guys, Neo has a lot going around. Right at the first week of March, to be precise, 1st of March was the snapshot day wherein Neo was giving the ontology airdrop. I did make a specific video for this. You can check out the video I'm basically placing it out there and in the description as well. Next, you need to know Next, which is the decentralized exchange for Neo blockchain, is coming up. Now, Next is a pet project and a massive project for the Neo blockchain. Understand its significance. The ICO is happening this month, right? Also, Neo is having a lot of roadshow. They're having meetups, workshop, as well as technical analysis and technical meets in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City, which is in Vietnam, in Canada, Toronto, in Cambridge, in Melbourne and Sydney, all within this month. When these meets happen, it is the technical developers that meet. So they have a different community which goes by the name of City or Zion, right? That's an open source developer community, and they tend to have technical discussions, and more developers meet them. In the last discussion on 31st of January, Ontology gave airdrops to people who attended that meet as well. So this is how they basically gel up, and this is what they try and do through these meets. Is one, the awareness, second, the development. People who are consumers who basically use Neo or use tokens based on Neo blockchain tend to understand how is Neo better than its competitor, let's say Ethereum, right? Same way developers try and understand how is development on the Neo blockchain easier than other blockchains. Is it or is it not? So this is how the word spread through the word of mouth, and so these meets are very important, and they can be a game changer for most of the coins, right? So these are the few reasons why Neo has the momentum towards its side, and Neo can give fabulous returns for the month of March. My next coin is an all-weather coin, which is one of the most loved and one of the most hated coin again, is the Ripple XRP, right guys? So again, it has a lot going on for it. There is a popular show of CNBC which goes by the name of Fast Money, wherein the CEO of Coinbase and Mr. Garlinghouse, Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, are going to be sharing the same stage. There is a lot of speculation that there could be some kind of announcement wherein Coinbase is probably having XRP, or it may not happen. But I'm pretty sure that there will be questions on the CNBC show that will XRP be coming to Coinbase or not. So you can expect an outcome to this confusion. It will be either yes or no, or maybe, but a proper deadline could be given to it. So there is a lot of anticipation out there. Several other big news surrounding Ripple. One of the biggest news that has taken place is one of the biggest banks of South Korea, the Woori Bank, has completed its test and have concluded that they will be using Ripple. Now it's yet not sure whether it will be the X Rapid or the X Current product that Woori banks will be using. So if you want to understand what is X Rapid and X Current, there is one video which I had made earlier. I'm linking this video out here on the top as well as on the description. You can check it out to understand how are the different products of Ripple, how is the value of XRP depend on these products. So do check out this video. Another big event for this month for XRP would be the outcome of the testing for MoneyGram. Now this is a huge thing, guys. If MoneyGram deal goes through and MoneyGram decides to use X Rapid, expect massive consumption of XRPs. The meetup and the workshops at Vietnam. So the Vietnam blockchain conference, it's a 4 or 5 days conference if I'm not wrong. We'll also be having Ripple presentations. They are taking part out here as well. They're also participating in Africa, again something related to blockchain event, and specifically a financial event in Asia, which is the Money 2020 Asia. So they'll be participating in all these events, and they will basically be trying to create awareness about Ripple, to try and create awareness or to debunk some myths about the XRP tokens, right? So these are the few reasons why I think Ripple is poised to move in the month of March. So guys, my pick of the month, the currency or the token that I feel is probably poised to give the maximum return for the month of March is the Binance token or the BNB token, which is directly correlated to the Binance Stock Exchange. Now, when I say a pick of the month, guys, understand that this is not going to be an investment which is going to give you the maximum return, right? There'll always be smaller coins or small time coins, a lot of which can possibly manipulate the market and can probably give more returns, but these are risky investments. when I pick a particular coin, these are coins which are stable coins. Where we know that there is no market manipulation, there is no fraudulent activities going on. Well, nobody knows for sure, but it is highly likely that these are stable coins with less chances of any kind of fraudulent activities. I directly correlate the investment of in any particular coin to the return that the Bitcoin can give. Now, understand one thing, guys. If Bitcoin is giving you a 40% return, but let's say something like a BNB token is able to give you a 2x return in such a market, I would definitely say that this is how I aim and this is how I try and find out the investments which can possibly give better returns than Bitcoin can, right? So, based on that, BNB tokens have a lot of things going around it. Right, the first week was the snapshot day for BCPT airdrop. Now, Block Mason Credit Protocol is one of the three protocols that the Block Mason is developing, and this is basically a protocol which creates the debit and the credit ledger for different parties. Now, what BCPT had done was picked up the first 500,000 accounts having the highest number of BNB tokens in Binance and basically airdropped 3 BCPT tokens to them free of cost, right? So the other thing is the consistently increasing volume among the other exchanges. Now, guys, understand this. People used to use Bitfinex, Bittrex, OKEx. A lot of these exchanges were being used. Now, what Bitfinex, Polonex, these exchanges are doing are basically, in a way, I would say, deteriorating. For example, Bittrex has stopped changed its rules and regulation, and basically any kind of order that you place will be revoked after 30 working days, right? So this was never the place with Bittrex. Binance, on the other hand, has been improving month on month, and these things are consistently visible in the volumes of the exchanges. Now, Binance is considered as the biggest exchange. However, if you look at the volumes, it is second only to one particular exchange, and these are the only two exchanges which are consistently having. I've been keeping a track of them. You can also do the same. You can go to the coin market cap. Rather, I'll try and show you out here in this video itself. Right, guys. So once you go to the coin market cap, you can basically go to the trade volume and check out the 24 hours volume ranking exchange wise, right? Out here, if you see, you'll see OKEx is the only exchange which is above Binance when it comes to the daily volume. And if you keep a track of these things on a daily basis, you'll see there are only two. I mean, Hobby right now is having a great volume, which is 1 billion plus, but there are only two exchanges, which is OKEx and Binance, which are consistently having 1 billion plus volume per day, and specifically on the weekdays, right? So if you check out these rankings and if you keep a track of them, you'll see consistently Binance is taking away the volume from other exchanges, right? If you have used Binance, you'll be able to see that it has actually improved its user interface. The interface of accessing Binance has improved. So Binance is always trying to improve itself. So that is another major reason wherein, although it's a long-term reason, and the reason why I think March is going to be a big month for it, I'll explain later, but these are small subtle reasons wherein I see Binance moving upwards, right? And now Binance also is taking part on the Vietnam Ho Chi Minh City event, which is again in the first week of March. So that could itself be a good thing for it, for the networking effect. Most critical point which I feel is going to give massive returns for the BNB token is the quarter end buyback for burning. Now what Binance usually does is it basically, for every quarter, the 20% of the revenue generates, it basically uses to buy back certain BNB tokens, and they'll continue to do so unless they've exhausted 50% of the BNB tokens this way. After they buy back these tokens from the 20% of the revenue generated through their business, they basically burn these tokens. Now guys, this is one place wherein you need to understand your economics, you need to have the fundamental factor analysis, and I yet have to make the significance, and trust me, this is the biggest myth and the biggest problem that I've seen in this industry, is to understand the importance of market cap or the market capitalization. Now, if you understand those laws of economics and the market capitalization fundamentals, you'll understand that by doing so, what Binance is doing is in a way giving dividend to people who hold BNB tokens, right? So here's one line which I've mentioned. One of the most fundamental laws of economics is that the lower the supply of commodity relative to its demand, the higher the price. BNB is one of those coins that one can comfortably invest in based on this principle and make a ton load of money. So guys, understand this. When they consume these coins, when they burn these coins, what is happening is the amount of usable coins reduce. Invariably, if the demand is high, which we see that the volumes are increasing, which basically indicates that demand is increasing, but the supply of the coins reduce, what is basically going to happen is an inflation in the price. So this is a fantastic way that the company Binance is helping its holders, long-term investors, and basically giving them a dividend in this manner. So guys, what we have seen in the last two buybacks or the last two burnouts is in the quarter of December, we saw that the price, which was hovering somewhere around $7 to $8, suddenly spiked up to $24. So guys, here let's look at the price chart for BNB token. Now this is the time where buybacks actually start to happen. The price was around 10 cents and it suddenly spiked up to almost $2, right? And this is the actual time where the burnout happens. So for example, the quarter ending for the March, the buybacks happen by 31st of March and the burnout happens sometime in April, right? So this is the time of the burnout, before which the price was around 80 cents and suddenly it spiked to $2, right? Similarly, December is a time where you see spikes when the buybacks happen. Jan, again, when the actual burnout happens. So these are the times you see these massive spikes. It went all the way till $24. So guys, based on these charts and based on these analysis, I can say with fair amount of conviction that Binance is definitely a long-term hold. And the month of March, you can see a lot of momentum building up in Binance. And I will not rule out that when the price moves away from it's right now hovering somewhere around $9 to $10, and I will not be surprised if it goes all the way till $25 $30 also. Well, markets are irrational. It can go way beyond it also, or it may not. But I will not be surprised if it goes beyond $25, which will give you around 2x returns. So guys, it is based on these reasons that I predict that Binance can give you above average returns for the month of March. But definitely for long term, it's a fantastic hold. And as I have also mentioned in my introductory video, what has changed from the conventional business paradigm to cryptocurrencies is that it allows you to invest small amount in big businesses. So if you consider something like a Facebook or YouTube, there was no way you could have invested $100 or $200 in those companies in their early age, right? Now it is giving you an opportunity to invest some kind of money in the business, something as successful as Binance. You know it's growing, you know it's going to grow, the penetration of cryptocurrency is negligible. Binance is also, or eventually will also be coming up with a separate decentralized exchange. So it has a long way to go. What cryptocurrencies through these mediums is allowing you to do is invest small amounts in this big business for long term, right guys? So these were my 3 picks for the month of March. I really hope you do enjoy this video, and if you did, please give it a like. Also, please do subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Have a great day guys, and I'll see you later.